close the door.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. Or maybe have it. Well, everybody they know we have it. Yeah.
Yes.
You can close the door. It's okay. Let's see. Nectar instruction. Text 9, 10, and 11 will be today, and that will be the end of the book, actually. So that is great. So what do you think about this book?
It's very, I like it a lot, but of course, when we talk about first time, like I heard that I'm supposed to be with no devotees, gets a little scary.
Yeah.
But then because you said in this simple way that a devotee is someone just can one time say I Krishna Mahamata, that helps a lot to be.
Yeah, exactly.
You are online now.
Well, the thing is, devotees they are very broad-minded, not close-minded. So in that way, it's enough just to see Krishna everywhere, and you will be okay, like that. Otherwise, life becomes also impossible. If you're going to be only seeing externally or everything. Because what does it mean, to avoid the non-devotee association? I mean, Rupa Goswami, he wrote the book, and himself. Sometimes we can look at the life of those who write the book themselves, right? Yeah. Himself, he was working in the government for the leader in the government. What's it called? Kasi, yeah. And he was having to do service to somebody who was not a devotee. And himself is saying, for devotional service, you should avoid association of non-devotees. I mean, it's just obvious that you should do that. But that doesn't mean, that sometimes you have to. It's like the one thing it doesn't cancel the other thing really.
Are you online now?
Yeah, I'm online. Like when you're forced, what can you do? It's even said that at one time in Bhagavatam, it also said, Hiranyakashipu, he took over the heavenly planets, and he did so much. So he took over the throne of Indra, and and even all the demigods that had to serve him, even Narada Muni had to bow down to him. He said, so why should Narada Muni bow down to the demon? But at that time there was no other option. So it's like, it's just obvious. It's if you want to be a good piano player, you have to not associate with the guitar players, you associate with the piano players. It's just a no-brainer. So it's not more than that. It doesn't mean that the piano player, he see a guitar player, he's like, oh, I'm staying away, No. It's not like, it's just normal. So if you meet a non-devotee, it's not like we try to defend ourselves or are scared or no. It's just we just know to become like advanced in devotional service. You just have to go to the temple and associate with like that. So in that way, we can understand. See, Prabhupada's life, he was also working normal job. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was working 6 hours a day. So if all these people were working outside, then that doesn't mean then that we should not work outside. It's obvious. It's just obvious. This idea that you can only do devotional service by living inside a temple as a nun or monk is completely ridiculous. Because none of our acharyas did that. If our acharyas didn't do it, why do we have to do it, right? If Rupa Goswami himself didn't do it, he wrote Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu and the Nectar of Instruction. If Bhaktivinoda Thakur didn't do it, if Srila Prabhupada didn't do it, then you can say Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he was hello, you have a bus? No, it's a fire department car. No, don't push that one, because then we will be out of streaming. Yeah. You can have that in case we get fire on the laptop. Yeah.
Fire.
Yeah.
But that
Skal vi take this? Here, come. Come here, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skal vi vise deg noe? Kom.
Try. So we'll read the Sanskrit. Oh, sorry. I will. Can you hear me better now? Yeah, I was a little bit far away from the from this. I'll see if I can turn up the volume here. Is all the volume? Yes, thank you for joining on the Zoom. Yeah, so yeah, tell me again if it's not high enough volume. Yeah, I'll speak more loud. Actually, we just want to wait until everybody's here, but now we will actually start. Yeah. So nectar instruction, text 9, Vaikun. Let's see what meter is that? Vaikunta janito vara madhupuri tatra pirasu savat. Is it Brahma Samhita meter? Kurya dasa virari to girita sevam. No, it's longer than that. Okay, it's the same meter as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Shikshashtaka. When he sings Chetu Darpanamarjanam, Chetu Darpanamarjanam, Baba Mahada Vagni Nirvapana, Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam, Vijavadu Jivana. It's in this meter today. You can see if you can do it. I will read it one time first, and you can see. Vaikunta janito vara madhupuri tatrapira sutsavad vrindaranya mudara paniramanat tatrapi govardhana radha kundamihapi gokulapate premamrita plavanat kuryadasya virajato giritarte sevam viveki naka. Yes, it's good. Continue. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Okay, so you want to chant on Zoom?
I can try.
Yeah, go ahead.
Vaikunta jana janito varamadhu puri tatrapi rasota savat. It's very difficult.
Yeah, anyway, you're doing it. It's okay.
Vrindaranyam udara pani ramanat tatrapi govardhanaha radham kundam ihapi gokula patehe premam raptavanat kuryad asyo rajato giritate sevam viveki nake.
Yeah, very good. Super. So we don't have any more on the Zoom. Okay, so we will just start the word for word. Vaikuntat. Then Vaikunta, the spiritual world. Janita, because of birth. Vara, better. Madhupuri, the transcendental city known as Mathura. Tatrapi, superior to that. Rasa Utsavat, because of the performance of the Rasa Lila. Vrinda Aranyam, the forest of Vrindavan. See, Udara Pani of Lord Krishna.
Krishna.
Ramanat,
Ramanat,
because of various kinds of loving pastimes.
because of the various kinds of loving pastimes.
Tatrapi,
Tatrapi,
superior to that.
superior to that.
Govardhanaha,
Govardhanaha,
Govardhan Hill.
Govardhan Hill,
Radhakundam,
Radhakundam,
a place called Radhakund.
place known as Radhakunda.
Yaapi,
Yapi,
superior to this.
superior to this.
Gokulapate,
Gokulapate,
of Krishna, the master of Gokul.
of Krishna, the master of Gokula.
Premamrita,
Premamrita,
with the nectar of divine love.
with the nectar of divine love.
Aplavanat,
Aplavanda,
because of being overflooded.
Because of
being overflooded.
Kuryat,
Korea
would do.
would do
Asya,
Asya,
of this.
of this
Radhakunda.
Radhakunda.
Virajataha,
Virajataha,
situated.
situated.
Giritate,
Giritate,
at the foot of Govardhan Hill.
at the foot of Govardhan Hill.
Sevam,
Sevam,
service.
Service.
Viveki,
Veriki,
who is intelligence.
who
Who
is
is intelligent.
Na,
Na,
not.
not.
Ka,
Ka,
who.
who.
Okay, so we made it so far. Go to the translation. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan because of Krishna's Rasa Lila pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Lord of Shri Krishna and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Sri Radhakund stands supreme, for it is overflooded with the ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokul, Shri Krishna. Jai. Any of you words to Vrindavan? No. You haven't been there? You have been there?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Very good.
Radhakunda also.
You were in Radhakund also? Yeah. Super.
Yeah.
Yes. See if I can find a few of the questions that we will get. Yeah, in the nectar instruction, we have a few questions here. Let's see. Yeah, so in this text 9, we will maybe get a question like this. The text 9, it describes the hierarchy of the material and spiritual worlds. Yeah? It's a hierarchy. One thing is higher than the other.
Yes.
And which is the highest one? It's going to be Radhakunda. Yeah? That's what they said, no? Yeah. Radhakunda was the highest. Yeah? And then text 10, it will talk about the hierarchy of different types of human beings.
No, it's not Mathura.
Hmm? In today's text, the highest one is
Radhakunda.
Radhakunda. Is it not?
It's holy, yeah.
It starts with Mathura,
Yeah.
then higher than Mathura is Vrindavan.
Yes.
Higher than Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill. Higher than Govardhan Hill is Radhakund.
Yeah.
So it's a hierarchy.
Yes.
And so text 10 will then have hierarchy amongst the humans. And 11 will be the glories of Radhakunda. So that will be, the end of this book. And we will finish everything today. So that's just fasten your seatbelts. We're gonna, Oh, we're not even finished reading the verse.
No, you didn't.
Sorry, it was one more. I didn't see
that.
that because it was on the next page. Okay, sorry for that. We will read the whole thing again. The holy place known as Mathura is spiritually superior to Vaikuntha, the transcendental world, because the Lord appeared there. Superior to Mathura Puri is the transcendental forest of Vrindavan, because of Krishna's Rasa Lila pastimes. And superior to the forest of Vrindavan is Govardhan Hill, for it was raised by the divine hand of Shri Krishna, and was the site of his various loving pastimes. And above all, the super excellent Shri Radhakunda stands supreme, for it is overflooded with ambrosial nectarian prema of the Lord of Gokul, Shri Krishna. Where then is that intelligent person who is unwilling to serve this divine Radhakund, which is situated at the foot of Govardhan Hill? Shri Radhakund ki jai. Yeah, And Prabhupada says in the purport, the spiritual world is 3/4 of the total creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is the most exalted region. The spiritual world is naturally superior to the material world. However, Mathura and the adjoining areas, although appearing in the material world, are considered superior to the spiritual world, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself appeared at Mathura. The interior forests of Vrindavan are considered superior to Mathura, because of the presence of the 12 forests, Dvadashavana, such as Talavan, Madhavan, and Bahulavan, which are famous for the various pastimes of the Lord. Thus, the interior Vrindavan forest is considered superior to Mathura, but superior to these forests is the divine Govardhan Hill, because Krishna lifted Govardhan Hill like an umbrella, raising it with his lotus-like beautiful hand to protect his associates, the denizens of Raj, from the torrential rains sent by the angry Indra, king of the demigods. It is also at Govardhan Hill that Krishna tends the cows with his cowherd friends, and there also he has his rendezvous. Is that how you say it? Rendezvous, yeah. With his most beloved Sri Radha and engaged in loving pastimes with her. Radhakund at the foot of Govardhan is superior to all because it is there that love of Krishna overflows. Advanced devotees prefer to reside at Radhakund because this place is the site of many memories of the eternal loving affairs between Krishna and Radharani. Rati Vilasa. Jai. Anything, any questions, comments? Everything is clear? Yeah? Okay. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, it is stated that when Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first visited the arena of Rajabhumi, he could not at first find the location of Radhakunda. Hare Krishna. This means that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually searching for the exact location of Radhakunda. Finally, he found the holy spot. Yeah, so finally he found the holy spot, and there was a small pond there. He took his bath in that small pond and told his devotees that the actual Radhakunda was situated there. Later, the pond was excavated by Lord Chaitanya's devotees, headed first by the 6 Goswamis, such as Rupa and Raghunath Das. Presently, there is a large lake known as Radhakund there. You've been there, yeah? I was also there. It's like a square, right?
Yeah, it's a square.
Yeah.
There are some trees.
Yeah. You can bathe there. Yeah? I also bathed there. Yeah. It's said to be very auspicious, very purifying. Yeah. So Srila Rupa Goswami has given much stress to Radhakund because of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire to find it. Who then would give up Radhakund and try to reside elsewhere? That doesn't sound like a good idea. So, once you have found the Radhakund, one should rather just stay there. Yeah? Once one has found the Radhakund, one should not give it up.
Yes.
Yeah. But maybe by practical reasons, one has to, go back to the material world to do one's duty. But the heart could stay there. Yeah. Who then would give up Radhakunda and try to reside elsewhere? No person with transcendental intelligence would do so. The importance of Radhakund, however, cannot be realized by other Vaishnava Sampradayas. Okay. Nor can persons uninterested in the devotional service of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu understand the spiritual importance and divine nature of Radhakund. Thus Radhakund is mainly worshipped by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, the followers of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because who was it which person was it that actually found the Radhakund? Who found the place? Didn't you see we were reading? We were just reading who found Radhakund. Chaitanya, yes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found it. Is that the only Gaudiya Vaishnava? Is it the only Vaishnava Sampradaya? We have other Vaishnavas? Yeah? Which are the other Vaishnavas? You heard about any other Vaishnavas than followers of Chaitanya?
The Gaudi Vaishnavas.
Yeah, that's the followers of Chaitanya. But are there other types of Vaishnavas who's not following Lord Chaitanya? Yes, they are.
You know?
He said there are 4 Vaishnava Sampradayas. So you have the Sri Vaishnavas. They're in South India mainly, I think. So they're followers, they're also called the Ramanuja Acharyas, established by Ramanuja, especially in the you can say the closest big guru they have is Ramanuja. Yeah, he's the Acharya of the modern, Sri Vaishnavas. So they are not worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as we are. Yeah. Any else? We have. Then he said it's also the Kumara Sampradaya. They're not so big. And then you have the Vallabhacharyas in Gujarat. It's also called the Pushti Marg or the Rudra Sampradaya. Yeah. So they're worshipping mostly Bala Krishna. Yeah. They have Vatsaleras. They're also not Chaitanya Mahaprabhu worshippers. Anybody else? And also the Madhvacharyas, actually, they also don't worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as we do. But we're coming from the Madhva line. This we spoke about when we spoke about Nityananda Prabhu last time. That actually, it's only the Gauda Vaishnavas who worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. And who found the Radha Kund? That was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that naturally it's the Gaudiyas who are into the Radha Kund and like that. Actually, whole Vrindavan is established by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah. Any comments or questions? We move on to text 10. So, okay, let's see if we can chant this. Karmi bhya parito hare priyataya yaktim yayo jnaninas tevyo jnana vimukta bhakti parama premaika nishtastata tevyasta pashupala pankaja drishas tabyo pisaradika prashtata vadiyam tadiya sarasi tam nashrayed ka kriti. Anybody would like to chant? You like to do, Mikaela? Yeah.
Let's see. Kamiyan parito hare primata rikutinya yujaninas tabyu janami mukta bhakti param ramaika nishtata devyanta pashupala pakanja draksha tabyu pisaradika prishta tattva ivam tatiya sarasi tam nashadekhantikriti.
Very good. On Zoom, you like to chant?
It's very difficult.
Or is it too difficult? Yeah?
Parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayu jnaninas tebhyo jnana vimukta bhakti paramaha premaika nishasatataha tebhyasta pashupala pankaja dasharashatabhyo vishuradhika preshta tatvat jam tadiya sarasitam nasrayet kahakriti.
Yes. So this is also very, very deep verse. So let's take the word for word. Karmi bhyaha, then all fruitive workers.
That all fruitive workers.
Paritaha, in all respects.
In no respect.
Harihe, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Priyataya, because of being favored. Vyaktim yayahu, it is said in the Shastra. Jnaninaha, those advanced in knowledge. Tebhyaha, superior to them. Jnana vimukta, liberated by knowledge. Bhakti paramaha, those engaged in devotional service. Prema ekanishtaha, those who have attained pure love of God. Tataha, superior to them. Tebhyaha, better than them. Taha, they. Pashupala Pankaja, Drishta, Drisha. The gopis were always dependent on Krishna, the cowherd boy. Yeah. So you see, it says there, Pashupala. So, when you say Gopala, it means the protector of the cow. So Pala means protector, and Pashu, it means animal. Yeah. When you have Pankaja, it means lotus, and Drisha means, what does it mean really? Anyway. Yeah, so in that way, and then Tabyaha, above all of them. Api, certainly. Sa, she. Radhika, Shrimati Radhika. Prishtha, very dear. Tadvat, similarly. Iyam, this. Tadiya Sarasi, her lake, Shri Radhakund. Tam, Radhakund. Na, not. Ashrayat, would take shelter of. Kaha, who? Kriti, most fortunate. In the Shastra, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, jnanis, one is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prema, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees, because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Her Kunda lake is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radha Kunda and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings? Aprakrita Bhava, render loving service to the divine couple Sri Sri Radha Govinda, who perform their Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kunda are the most fortunate people in the universe. Purport: at the present moment, almost everyone is engaged in some kind of fruitive activity. Those who are desirous of gaining material profits by working are called karmis or fruitive workers. All living entities within this material world have come under the spell of Maya. This is described in the Vishnu Purana. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetra Gyakya Tata Para Avidya Karma Samgyaya Itya Shakti Rishyate. Sages have divided the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead into three categories, namely the spiritual energy, marginal energy, and material energy. The material energy is considered to be the third class energy, Tritiya Shakti. Those living beings, is it clear? We can get more into that later. Yeah. Those living beings within the jurisdiction of the material energy sometimes engage themselves like dogs and hogs in working very hard simply for sense gratification. However, in this life or after executing pious activities in the next life, some karmis become strongly attached to performing various kinds of sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. Thus, on the strength of their pious merit, they are elevated to heavenly planets. Actually, those who perform sacrifices strictly according to Vedic injunctions are elevated to the moon and planets above the moon. Do you like to go to the moon? Yeah? Yeah, just to follow strictly the Vedic injunctions when you are working and do the sacrifices. Yeah. As mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, Kshine Punya Martya Lokam Vishanti, after exhausting the results of their so-called pious activities, they again return to the earth, which is called Martya Loka, the place of death. Actually, such persons may be elevated to the heavenly planets by their pious activities, and although they may enjoy life there for many thousands of years, they nonetheless must return to this planet when the results of their pious activities are exhausted. So just a footnote on the moon. according to the Shastra, the moon is a planet of vegetation.
Mm.
Everything here is growing because of the moon, actually. Krishna also says that in the Bhagavad Gita, that he gives nourishment through the moon. I think it's in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada, he once said that, they claim that the moon is just like a desert, right? But Prabhupada said, if this is a planet for all the vegetables, for all the vegetation, how can it be a desert where there is no vegetation? It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
So according to Shastra, the moon is actually a heavenly planet. It has gardens.
Oh.
So how come we see this dead looking planet there, completely like desert? It doesn't add up. That's why probably he didn't buy, that they went to the moon or. But we'll not get into this here,
Yeah.
We don't argue for having been to the moon or not. We don't actually care. What we know is that the moon is actually a heavenly planet according to the Vedas, and we just follow that. Actually, you cannot really see the heavenly planets because they are in a subtle world. Just like you cannot see Chandra there, the Lord of the heavenly planets. You cannot see, Indra. You cannot see any of these because, they are in a different plane of existence. Yeah. So in the same way, we can't actually see with our eyes, the heavenly planets. We just see some planet up there. But that's just maybe just the outer representation. Because to go to moon planet, you have to chant mantras. To go to any planet, you have to chant the mantra which belong to that planet. Yeah. Each planet has a specific mantra. You can aspire to come there by chanting that mantra and be on good terms with the devata, with the demigods who are in charge of that planet. Yeah. And then you have to do yagyas according to Vedas. And usually, actually, they talk about fire yagas, to do homa, sacrifices. And of course, on the side of that, be a very pious person. Be very gentle and kind to all living beings, have compassion and all these good qualities. And then, one may meditate on that, and at the end of one's life, one may enter there. That's the idea. But the devotees are not interested in that, because for us it just looks like some kind of fruitive project. We meditate on that and we want to go there. But there are many Hindus who are into this. But for us, we just want to go to Goloka Vrindavan. We may meditate on Krishna and we want to go there instead. Yeah. But even the highest devotees, they don't even mind wherever they are. They can be on the earth or they can be there. It doesn't matter. As long as they can do service to Krishna. Yeah. Because even they go to the higher planet, they will have to go back, as Prabhupada said. This is the position of all karmis, including those who act piously and those who act impiously. On this planet we find many businessmen, politicians and others who are simply interested in material happiness. They attempt to earn money by all means, not considering whether such means are pious or impious. Such people are called karmis or gross materialists. Among the karmis are some vikarmis. So the vikarmis are those who, are criminals. Yeah. People who act without the guidance of Vedic knowledge. Those who act on the basis of Vedic knowledge perform sacrifices for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu and to receive benedictions from him. In this way they are elevated to higher planetary systems. So this is pretty much what I said just now. Such karmis are superior to the vikarmis, for they are faithful to the directions of the Vedas and are certainly dear to Krishna. So the vikarmis, who are those? Well, according to this definition we have here, there are those who simply don't follow Vedas. Don't follow, godly scriptures. They just act on their own account. Yeah, completely outside any, scriptural direction. Yeah. They will necessarily have to accumulate some bad karma, and that's why it's called vikarmis. Because vikarma means, bad karma. Yeah. So here in this connection, then karma, and vikarma means the bad karma. This is also from Bhagavad Gita. It said karma, vikarma, and akarma. So akarma means transcendental work. Just like, if you're cooking in the temple for the Lord, then this is akarma. It's neither karma or vikarma. It's akarma, because we don't do it for our own account. All the rest is just offered to Krishna. Yeah. Those who act on the basis of Vedic knowledge perform sacrifices for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu and to receive benedictions from him. In this way they are elevated to higher planetary systems. Such karmis are superior to the vikarmis, for they are faithful to... I just read that. Yeah. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam stateva bhajamyaham. In whatever way one surrenders unto me, I reward him accordingly. Krishna is so kind that he fulfills the desires of the karmis and jnanis, not to speak of the bhaktas. Although the karmis are sometimes elevated to higher planetary systems, as long as they remain attached to fruitive activities, they must accept a new material bodies after death. If one acts piously, he can attain a new body among the demigods in the higher planetary systems, or he may attain some other position in which he can enjoy a higher standard of material happiness. On the other hand, those who are engaged in impious activities are degraded and take birth as animals, trees, and plants. Thus, those fruitive actors who do not care for the Vedic directions, vikarmis, are not appreciated by learned, saintly persons. So they may become fruits themselves, or fruit plants. Yeah. Stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nunam pramatta kurte vikarma yadindriya pritaya aprinoti nasadu manye yata atmanoyam asanna pikleshada sadeya. Materialists who work hard like dogs and hogs simply for sense gratification are actually mad. Yeah. What is the word for mad? It's pramatta. There is also mentioned there is three levels of madness also. I think pramata is the worst one. Yeah, it's mada, pramada, and pramata. Yeah. Or maybe pramada and pramata is the same. Yeah. So mada is just normal mad. You could say. Pramada one is really mad. Yeah. They simply perform all kinds of abominable activities simply for sense gratification. So here, obviously, Bhagavatam is speaking about the vikarmis. Yeah. Materialistic activities are not at all worthy of an intelligent man, for as a result of such activities, one gets a material body, which is full of misery. Yeah. Na sadhu manya. So it's not for the sadhus. Yeah, we try to become saintly or sadhus. The purpose of human life is to get out of the threefold miserable conditions which are concomitant with material existence. Unfortunately, fruitive workers are mad to enjoy money and acquire temporary material comforts by all means. Therefore, they risk being degraded to lower species of life. Materialists foolishly make plans to become happy in this material world. They do not stop to consider that they will live only for a certain number of years, out of which they must spend a major portion acquiring money for sense gratification. So just a question here: why don't they stop? Make plans, so much activity. Why they don't stop and think? What's the explanation?
They want more.
Why they
because
want?
They feel
Yeah.
happy in that situation.
Yeah.
That's one. Yeah.
Philosophically, why do they not stop? It's correct as you say, but maybe even more we can say. Why not stop? Yeah.
They get sense of gratification by acquiring more of material things. So they
Yeah.
think if they acquire more, they will be more happy.
Yes, it's because of the gratification they get. They feel they're getting something, some enjoyment from that, and then they become greedy to have more and more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you don't get it, they go down.
Yeah, if they don't get it, then they can become depressed.
Yeah.
They go to tamu.
Very fast.
So what's the difference? Because we are stopping up and we're thinking about this. For example, that we're sitting here. All of us, you on Zoom, you're sitting here. I'm sitting here. You're sitting here. Why? This means to stop and think, because this is just pure philosophy. We're not working fruitive now, are we? Or maybe you are working as a fruit. You want a Bhakti Shastri degree, but it's not really that much. That's not the point, right? So the point is actually we're stopping to think. And why do we do that? Are we like little more conscious? Because of the sattva gun actually. It's said that in the raja gun, one doesn't know when to stop. one simply sometimes is unable to stop because there's so much raja, so much passion. And one has a little bit enjoyment, one wants more, and one just keep on going. There's no wisdom there, it's just passion. It's just the senses, including the mind is also a sense. And especially the mind is very, greedy to have enjoyment. Yeah.
It's very sad to see when even old people continue.
Can I comment on this?
Yeah,
Prabhuji?
please. Sorry. Yeah, comment. Yeah.
I think when a person faces something in life, like suddenly he loses someone or something, and then he realizes like all these things are not going to give me happiness.
Yes.
Then only the person realizes like I have to stop now. Otherwise, there is no end to this.
Yeah, so that's why actually Krishna is merciful to us. Tasyam anugriyami harishatat danam kshanai. Krishna says that to those I show my mercy very much, I take away what they have. And then Krishna explained that person becomes very sober and he can start thinking about the spiritual life. Yeah. Actually, nobody is escaping this, even if they're not devotees or even if they're not interested in spiritual life. At one point, it's going to stop the enjoyment for everybody. When it's going on very nicely, then we may be very intoxicated and we will not think about nothing else than continue enjoyment. But thank God that Krishna has arranged the material world like this, that we're getting out of this intoxication, and we have to stop and think. Yeah. And we get blessed. Yeah.
Because if you get difficulties, you become sick or you lose all your fortune.
So is it not better to give up ourselves before Krishna takes away everything?
Yeah, that's a good point. Thank you, Mataji. She says, isn't it not better to give up ourselves before Krishna takes away? Yeah, so that's the persons who are on the Brahminical platform.
Yes, of course.
They actually are doing self-imposed austerity. Nobody has to tell them to restrict, their diet. Nobody has to tell them to, restrict their speaking or restrict their activities. They are wise and they do it themselves. So that's why Krishna doesn't need to take away. Very correct. But if you are very much in mode of passion, we just want to increase and increase. And Krishna may need to, interact. I mean, what do you call it? Interfere. Yeah. Yeah. So definitely, it's much better to. And how do we know? By studying the scriptures. Then we can know, and talking with seniors in the spiritual life, especially our Gurudev, we can get some clues that may involve that we tone down, our material aspirations, and for the sake of spiritual aspirations. Yeah. Okay, so what does it say? Where were we? Yeah. Ultimately, such activities end in death. Yeah, that's very true. Materialists do not consider that after giving up the body, they may become embodied as lower animals, plants, or trees. Thus, all their activities simply defeat the purpose of life. Not only are they born ignorant, but they act on the platform of ignorance, thinking that they are getting material benefits in the shape of skyscraper buildings, big cars, honorable positions, and so on. The materialists do not know that in the next life they will be degraded and that all their activities simply serve as parabhava, their defeat. This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam 5.5.5. Parabhavastha bodha jata. It's one of the often quoted verses also by Srila Prabhupada, which actually says that the people who are materialistic and very eager to continue that, they are parabhava, they're defeated at every step. They just end up frustrated. One should therefore be eager to understand the science of the soul, Atma Tattva, unless one comes to the platform of Atma Tattva, by which one understands that the soul and not the body is oneself. Did you get that? Yeah. One remains on the platform of ignorance. Out of thousands and even millions of ignorant people who are wasting their time simply gratifying their senses, one may come to the platform of knowledge and understand higher values of life. Such a person is called a jnani. The jnani knows that fruitive activities will bind him to material existence and cause him to transmigrate from one kind of body to another. as indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by the term Sharira Bandha, bound to bodily existence. As long as one maintains any conception of sense enjoyment, his mind will be absorbed in karma, fruitive activity. And this will oblige him to transmigrate from one body to another. So that's another verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, or maybe that's the same verse as the one above. It says, that why go on and do this materialistic activity, because they are the source of the body we have now, which actually is the source of our trouble. Yeah. And that kind of caught up condition where one is like the hamster running in a wheel, yeah? That is called Sharira Bandha. So Bandha means to bondage, to be bound up, and Sharira, that is our body. Yeah. So, and Sharira also indicates that it's Shriyate, it's bound to be decaying. Yeah. It's always decaying. By the time it fades away, basically.
Yeah,
So,
Prabhuji, I
yeah.
have one question.
Yeah.
Like, I actually do not understand the meaning of Jnani. Like, Jnani is a person who gets the knowledge.
Yeah. It's actually a high level. A real Jnani, Jnani or Jnani is actually a person who is on the platform of being liberated. He's on the platform of Vijnana Maya. So that person can distinguish between matter and spirit, or is in the phase where one is doing that. So we are actually, you can say what we're doing now is very much like Jnana Yoga. We were learning we were doing the Jnana Yoga. We're getting into the knowledge now. And thus we are also on that platform of Vijnana Maya. We're now distinguishing between matter and spirit. So you just need to understand yourself, and you will understand who is a Jnani, really. Does it make sense?
What is the third category? You have the Karmis, you have the Jnanis, and the third is
You have the Bhaktas.
the Bhaktas, okay.
Yeah, of course. When one is a devotee, one is automatically, using jnana and karma in the devotional service, and thus we can do karma yoga and jnana yoga also, and it's all part of bhakti yoga. So this which you do now is more jnana yoga. I would say karma yoga would be that I'm cooking in the kitchen, like that, or cleaning, the pots. That is more like karma yoga, and this is more jnana yoga. But all is bhakti yoga. So on the absolute platform there is no difference. But if it doesn't have devotional service, then you actually have karma yoga and jnana yoga, which is meant for mukti or liberation. But actually, the karma yoga people usually do, it's meant for going to heavenly planets. And the jnana yoga that people usually do, it's meant for moksha. So there are two different goals for these. Karmis, which Prabhupada mentioned, they want to go to heaven. They really are so attached to enjoying sense gratification, they just want to continue that also after death on the heavenly planets, and they're attracted by the descriptions of enjoyment there, which are given in the Vedas. That there are angels there, nice music, nice eating, dancing, theater, plays. Like for example, Indra, he every day he's sitting and the Apsaras are dancing for him and Gandharvas are singing for him. Yeah, he's entertained, and he gets the best food in the universe. But what is happening that sometimes the demons, by their tapasya, they can even crush into the heavenly planets and even take over his throne. So that's why even in heaven nobody is safe. Yeah, the only place where the demons cannot crush in, where is that? It's Goloka Vrindavan. Yeah, there no demons can enter. Yeah.
So, if we do something, even though we have knowledge, and if we are not doing devotional service, it is meaningless.
Ultimately, yeah.
Devotional service has to be a part of us.
Yeah, devotional service has to be a part of us. So that's the expertise or genius of any devotee, that somehow they're able to link everything with Krishna. So whenever a devotee says, "Oh, something happened to me today," they immediately say, "Oh, it was Krishna. he saved me, or Krishna was arranging this. Some or other they include Krishna. And because they do that, they are able to be Krishna conscious and do karma yoga and jnana yoga. Otherwise it wouldn't be possible. Yeah, so that's why that's actually very simple. It's not a rocket science. You just say that was Krishna.
And life
It-
becomes
Life becomes easy. Yeah, you think that your boss is actually he's controlled by Krishna. I'm actually serving Krishna by serving my boss. Yeah, and whatever knowledge I'm getting, it doesn't mean exactly also directly from scriptures. Somebody just giving you some knowledge. Or they say something to you and you will think, oh, this is Krishna trying to tell me something through that person. This is also part of jnana yoga. You understand? Or you can see up in the sky and you see, oh, the moon is blinking like anything. And you try and understand, oh, what is, you try and listen to the universe. This is all part of jnana yoga. Karma yoga is much, you can say, grosser. It's just hard work, really. It's just working like an ass. And hope to enjoy the fruits afterward. Yeah. Sometimes also out of fear. We work very hard because we're fearful. If we don't work hard, then we're going to get bad reaction.
Yeah.
But it keeps us in check also. You see, it's better than doing vikarma. Because if we don't do karma yoga or jnana yoga or any kind of yoga, then we may end up in a what was it called, vikarma camp, and then actually whatever we do will just bring us down, and that is not wanted. That is to be avoided. Yeah. Okay, where did we read? Such a person is called a jnani. The jnani knows that fruitive activities will bind him to material existence and cause him to transmigrate from one body to another. So in other words, the jnani knows that to be a karmi is not a good idea. He is not into fruitive activities, he wants to get liberated. As indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by the term Sharira Bandha, bound to bodily existence. As long as one maintains any conception of sense enjoyment, his mind will be absorbed in karma, fruitive activity, and this will oblige him to transmigrate from one body to another. Thus a jnani is considered superior to a karmi because he at least refrains from the blind activities of sense enjoyment. So it said, the jnani, he got eyes to see, while the karmi is actually blind. The karmi has a very strong body. He likes to build up his body and work hard, but he's lacking the eye side, which is the knowledge. The jnani may have a lot of knowledge, but his body may be weak. So Prabhupada said we should pair the two together. He compared India to be like the lame man. No, sorry, the lame man, but with seeing power. And then he compared the Western countries to be like very strong body but blind. And he said, if the person with very strong body can carry the lame person who is wise, the lame person, he has eyes to see, so he can direct where we should go. That's a perfect combination. So in other words, cooperation between West and East is wanted for spiritual life. Thus a jnani, this is the verdict of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, although a jnani may be liberated from the ignorance of the karmis, unless he comes to the platform of devotional service, he is still considered to be in ignorance. Avidya. Yeah. We talked about avidya yesterday. You remember what is the meaning of avidya? Nescience. Yeah.
Ignorance.
Ignorant. Yeah. Seemingly having a lot of knowledge, we know everything that happened in the news. We know how to operate the computer. We know how to fix the car. But we don't know, how the gunas are working on us. Then we still, in ignorance. According to this definition, because we're talking now from the spiritual platform, where what really scores and gives us bonus points is the spiritual things, not the material things. Yeah. Although one may be accepted as a jnani or one advanced in knowledge, his knowledge is considered impure because he has no information of devotional service and thus neglects the direct worship of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When a jnani takes to devotional service, he rapidly becomes superior to an ordinary jnani. Yeah. Such an advanced person is described as jnana vimukta bhakti parama. Yeah. So you get that it's a jnana who is vimukta, he's liberated because he's doing the parama activities of bhakti. Yeah. Otherwise you have an ordinary jnani, he's more or less an impersonalist. He wants to get liberated by himself, not by bhakti. Yeah. How a jnani takes to devotional service is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, wherein Krishna says, Bahunam janmanam ante jnana vammam prapadyate Vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabhaha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. Actually, a person is wise when he surrenders unto the lotus feet of Krishna, but such a Mahatma, great soul, is very rare. So in other words, the jnani keeps on, grinding his jnana, life after life after life after life. Finally, Vasudeva, Krishna, that's the one. That's explained also in the Brahma Samhita. There is a verse there which goes like, it says that after the impersonalist or jnani has done all his yoga exercises, so included in that is also the mystic yogi, also sometimes called a jnani. After many, many, many thousands of births, then finally he comes to see the sun rays, or like the shining rays from the lotus feet, from the toenails of the Lord. He can see the rays after many thousands of births. What to speak of actually becoming a devotee and serve those feet. Yeah, so it's quite rare. So that you are here in the temple and doing service, it means you are elevated above all the common jnanis. Yeah. And devotees, they are so humble, so they think, but we are nothing. But this is a special grace by the Lord. Special grace. We are, understanding that what we have got is very valuable. Yeah. After taking to devotional service and the regulative principles, a person may come to the platform of spontaneous love of Godhead, following in the footsteps of great devotees like Narada and Sanaka and Sanatana. The Supreme Personality of Godhead then recognize him to be superior. The devotees who have developed love of Godhead are certainly in an exalted position. Of all these devotees, the gopis are recognized as superior because they do not know anything other than satisfying Krishna. Nor do the gopis expect any return from Krishna. Indeed, sometimes Krishna puts them into extreme suffering by separating himself from them. So in other words, it's not the suffering we experience here, that we cannot find our mobile phone, or we are hungry or thirsty or relationship problem or like that. The only thing that really they are into is Krishna. They're happy when they're in Krishna, and when Krishna is not there, they're suffering. So everything is connected to Krishna, so that's why all of these things are just part of their ecstasy. Nonetheless, they cannot forget Krishna. When Krishna left Vrindavan for Mathura, the gopis became most dejected and spent the rest of their lives simply crying in separation from Krishna. This means that in one sense they were never actually separated from Krishna. There is no difference between thinking of Krishna and associating with him. I think we mentioned that yesterday also, because our process is called Advaita Jnana Tattva. It's explained, by Jiva Goswami in his writings about how does our Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy work. Well, it works because there is no difference between Krishna's name and himself. There's no difference between Krishna's, Murti form, Archana Vigraha, and himself. There's no difference between Krishna's, words and himself. So we can associate with Krishna in the same way. If somebody feels separation from Krishna and think about Krishna that way, they are together with Krishna. More than somebody who is together with Krishna and taking him for granted. That's why it said it's higher to do service in separation from Krishna, and that was shown by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that is called Vipralamba Seva. Yeah? The service in separation. Yeah, so as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, far better than Radha Vipralamba Seva, thinking of Krishna in separation, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did, is far better than serving Krishna directly. Thus, all of the devotees who have developed unalloyed devotional love for Krishna, the gopis, are most exalted. And out of all these exalted gopis, Srimati Radharani is the highest. No one can excel the devotional service of Srimati Radharani. Indeed, even Krishna cannot understand the attitude of Srimati Radharani. Therefore, he took her position and appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just to understand her transcendental feelings. In this way, Srila Rupa Goswami gradually concludes that Sri Mata Radharani is the most exalted devotee of Krishna and that her Kunda lake, Sri Radhakund, is the most exalted place. This is verified in a quotation from Laga Bhagavatamrita, as quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Yata Radha Priyas Vishnos Tasya Kundam Priyam Tata Saragopishu Saivaika Vishnu Atyanta Vallava. Just as Sri Mata Radharani is dear to Supreme Lord Krishna, Vishnu, so her bathing place, Radhakunda, is equally dear to Krishna. Among all the gopis, she alone stands supreme as the Lord's most beloved. Therefore, everyone interested in Krishna consciousness should ultimately take shelter of Radhakund and execute devotional service there throughout one's life. This is the conclusion of Rupa Goswami in the 10th verse of Upadeshamrita. So when you go to India next time, where are you going to go? Radhakund, obviously. that is now, clear.
When we go, like Parikram, when we meet people on the way.
But this concept of Srimati Radharani is so interesting. Like, I started reading little bit about it, and the more you read, the more you are like, Krishna is so mysterious. It's somehow very difficult to understand Krishna in one life.
We cannot understand Krishna with our brain,
Not at all, and it's like he's everywhere, he's into every creation, and it's like so mysterious that it's so interesting actually.
Yeah, thank you, it is really, and also on top of that, you have a few devotees who didn't even go to Vrindavan. Like even, Haridas Thakur, the Namacharya, he never went to Vrindavan. He felt he wasn't, supposed to be there. Because whenever he was chanting, he was in Vrindavan in his heart. Because he was always chanting Radha Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Radha Radha. No. Hare Krishna means Radha Krishna,
One day I was also chanting Radha Krishna, it came automatically, and I was like, this sounds much easy and much better. But I was not sure that should I chant this way or not.
I mean, there are many. You can see the Hare Krishna mantra is also very mysterious. Why doesn't it say just Radha? Well, actually, you have the word Hari, or Hare. Hari, the name of Vishnu in another form is called Hari. He takes away, He steals, even steals. So in the same way, it's explained that Hare is the feminine of Hari, meaning she steals away the mind of Krishna. She steals the heart of Krishna. So it describes, Radha in a deeper way, you can say. Just like Krishna sometimes has some other names also, he's called Govinda, or some other, and it's more like confidential names, if you get what I mean. So in the same way, the Hare is a more confidential name than just Radha, maybe in some sense. Variation is the mother of enjoyment, and that goes to spiritual life also. So you can say, is there any variation in Hare Krishna? Well, the variation is happening in our consciousness, in our heart. That actually, with these names, you go deeper into the tattva of the names, and you can actually relish that. So it's the most mysterious thing. It's the most mysterious activity in the universe to chant Hare Krishna, actually. Like that. So, and then you have these descriptions. So that gives also some food for thought. How can you understand this? So it said, for example, Tadiyanam Samarchanam. Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samarchanam. It says, Lord Shiva says, that higher than worshipping me is to worship Vishnu. Vishnu Naradhanam Param. It tells to Parvati. Because Parvati taught, that Shiva, worship of Shiva was the highest. But he says, Aradhananam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param. He says that of all the different kinds of worship of Vishnu is the highest. But then he says, Tasmat Parataram Devi Tadiyanam Samarchanam. But even higher than worshipping Vishnu is to worship that which is connected with Vishnu. So what is connected with Vishnu or Krishna? That is, Krishna's flute, Krishna's devotees, Krishna's bathing water. Like, he has Shamakund, yeah? Was it he made Shamakund first and then Radhakund was made after? Radharani, she arranged that because she kind of competed with Krishna. So in that same way, what is connected to Radharani is even maybe more worshipful than her directly. Yeah? Because that means, you're really respecting somebody if you respect, their slippers, right? You can say, you respect somebody and you say, I respect you, but if you just step on their slipper, you don't care about, their personal belongings. And how much do you respect? But if you actually really take care of their personal belongings and really even worship the belongings, how much doesn't you respect the real person? You see, there's a logic there. That's why, for example, Prabhupada, he left, some, after his Leela here in the material world, he left, some towel or some shoes or something, and now they're put in the museum, inside glass, because they're related, and they so in the same way it is with Radharani. Her kund is worshipable like anything, even more than herself, is said here. Yeah. So in the same way, the whole name of the Lord is also a great way to come in contact with Krishna. Okay, so let's go to verse 11, the last verse of the Nectar of Instruction. Let's see if we can chant this also. Krishna Siyucha Parannivasudapasham. But this is in another meter again. It's not the same meter as the previous one. Let's see, the previous one said okay, this is not the same meter. How many syllables does it have? You can count the syllables, then you would know you can fit it into one of the meters. Krishna Syorcha Prananya Vasa Tripriyasi Byopiradha Kundam Chasya Muni Birabhitastadrik Eva Vyadhayi. It's possible to have it in this meter, but I think it has one or two syllables less. Krishna Pranaya Vasa Tripriyasi Byopiradha Kundam Chasya Muni Birabhitastadrik Eva Vyadhayi. Okay, you can just try to have that. At least you have a melody. Krishnasya Chai Pranayava Sati Preyasi Bopirada Kundam Chasya Munibira Vitastadrige Vivyadai Yat Preshtarapyalam Nasulabam Kim Punar Bhakti Bhajam Tat Premedam Sakritapi Saras Natura Vishkarati. It's a little bit difficult. Yeah. You like to chant? Yeah, Mikaela?
Krishna Syorcha Pranaya Vasati Prayasi Bhyopirada Kunda Shasya Movihi Abhitastatish Eva Vyadayi Yat Preshtahar Api Alam Asulabam Kim Puna Bhakti Brajam Tat Brindam Shakti Api Saram Snatur Avishkaroti.
Very good. You like to chant on Zoom?
Krishnasya Suchaya Pranaya Vashitaham
Yeah.
Priyapibhyo Pirada Kundam Chasya Munibhir Abhitasatadro Eva Vyadhi Yat Prishthair Api Alam Asulabham Kim Punar Bhakti Bhajam Tat Premadam Sakrat Api Saraha Snatur Avishkaroti.
Okay, so word for word. Krishnasya of Lord Krishna.
Oh Lord Krishna.
Lord Krishna.
Uchai,
Uchai.
very highly.
Jai,
Very highly.
very highly.
Yeah. Pranaya Vasati,
Pranaya Vasate.
Pranaya Vasati,
object of love.
Object of love.
object of love.
Priya Preyasibhya,
Preyasibhyam,
out of the many lovable gopis,
out of the many
lovable gopis,
Api,
Api,
certainly,
certainly,
Radha,
Radha,
Srimati Radharani,
Srimati Radharani,
Kundam,
Kundam,
lake,
lake,
Cha,
Cha,
also,
also,
Asya,
Tasya,
of her,
of her,
Munibihi,
Munibihi,
by great sages,
by great sages,
Abhitaha,
Abhita,
in all respects,
in all respects,
Tadrikeva,
Tadrakeva,
similarly,
similarly,
Vyadhayi
Vyadhyayi
is described,
is described,
Yat,
Yat,
which,
which,
Preshtai,
Vishtai,
by the most advanced devotees,
by the most advanced devotees,
Api,
Api,
even,
even,
Alam,
Alam,
enough,
enough,
Asulabham,
Asulabham,
difficult to obtain,
difficult to obtain,
Kim,
Kim,
what,
what,
Puna,
Punaha,
again,
again,
Bhakti Bhajam,
Bhakti Bhajam,
for persons engaged in devotional service,
for persons engaged in devotional service,
Tat,
that,
that, Prema,
Prema,
love of Godhead,
love of Godhead,
Idam,
Idam,
this,
this,
Sakrit,
Sakrit,
once,
once,
Api,
Api,
even,
even,
Saraha,
Saraha,
lake,
lake,
Snatuhu,
Natuhu,
of one who has bathed,
of one who has bathed,
bathed, yeah, Avishkaroti,
Avishkaroti,
arouses.
arouses,
What means arouses? It means to rise up. Yeah. It means like it said here, pure love of Krishna fully blossoms. Yeah, or arouses. Yeah. Okay. Of the many objects of favor, delight, and of all the lovable damsels of Rajabhumi, Srimati Radharani is certainly the most treasured object of Krishna's love, and in every respect her divine Kund is described by great sages as similarly dear to him. So what is her divine Kund? Radha Kund. Yeah. Undoubtedly Radha Kund is very rarely attained even by the great devotees. Therefore it is even more difficult for ordinary devotees to attain. If one simply bathes once within those holy waters, one's pure love of Krishna is fully aroused. Purport. Why is Radhakunda so exalted? The lake is so exalted because it belongs to the gopis. No, wait, Lynn. I was going the wrong here. Yeah, I lost the text, sorry. The lake is so exalted because it belongs to Srimati Radharani. Srimati Radharani, yeah, who is the most beloved object of Sri Krishna. Among all the gopis, she is the most beloved. Similarly, her lake, Shri Radhakunda, is also described by great sages as the lake that is as dear to Krishna as Radha herself. Indeed, Krishna's love for Radhakund and Srimati Radharani is Indeed, Krishna's love for Radhakund and Srimati Radharani is the same in all respects. Radhakunda is very rarely attained, even by great personalities fully engaged in devotional service. Not to speak of ordinary devotees who are only engaged in the practice of Vaidhi Bhakti. So what is Prabhupada saying here? He's saying that, to be on that level, you have to be in the Raganuga Bhakti. And even to those, that is difficult to attain Radha Kund. What to speak of those who are just doing ordinary bhakti, you can say, which is Vaidhi bhakti, just following rules and regulations, not having the spontaneous love developed yet. They are even having greater impossibility to attain Radha Kund. Yeah. It is stated that a devotee will at once develop pure love of Krishna in the wake of the gopis, if he once takes a bath in Radha Kunda. Srila Rupa Goswami recommends that even if one cannot live permanently on the banks of Radha Kunda, he should at least take a bath in the lake as many times as possible. So if you cannot permanently live there, then you may go there and take a bath. Yeah? This is a most important item in the execution of devotional service. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes in this connection that Sri Radha Kund is the most select place for those interested in advancing their devotional service in the wake of the lady friends, Sakhis and confidential serving maids, Manjaris of Srimati Radharani. What does in the wake mean? Huh? In the wake, yeah. Does it mean in the association of, or while they are nearby, or? I'm asking because I don't know. In the wake of, I think it means something like that. That they are there.
Yes.
Yeah. So in other words, one shouldn't just do it alone. One should have, their blessings or even permission. Yeah.
It's like something like in the aftermath of something, no? In the
Aftermath
wake
of something.
Yeah, in the wake of.
So how can we understand it then in the wake of the gopis? Aftermath of the gopis? Does that make sense?
It's a consequence,
It's a
consequence.
It's like with
Okay.
Yeah.
So as a consequence of becoming friends with the gopis, then one can do it. Yep. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay, where did we stop?
Living entities.
Oh, there. Living entities who are eager to return home to the transcendental kingdom of God, Goloka Vrindavan, by means of attaining their spiritual bodies, Siddha Deha, should live at Radhakund, take shelter of the confidential serving maids of Sri Radha. So there it is. You should be in the shelter of the confidential serving maids. So that means the gopis.
Yeah.
And under their direction, engaged constantly in their service. This is the most exalted method for those engaged in devotional service under the protection of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this connection, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes that even great sages and great devotees like Narada and Sanaka did not get an opportunity to come to Radhakund to take their baths. What then to speak of ordinary devotees? If by great fortune one gets an opportunity to come to Radhakund and bathe even once, he can develop his transcendental love for Krishna, exactly as the gopis did. It is also recommended that one should live on the banks of Radhakund and should be absorbed in the loving service of the Lord. One should bathe there regularly and give up all material conceptions, taking shelter of Sri Radha and her assistant gopis. If one is thus constantly engaged during his lifetime, after giving up the body, he will return back to Godhead to serve Sri Radha in the same way as he contemplated during his life on the banks of Radhakund. The conclusion is that to live on the banks of the Radhakund and to bathe there daily constitute the highest perfection of devotional service. It is a difficult position to attain even for great sages and devotees like Narada, thus there is no limit to the glory of Sri Radhakund. By serving Radhakund, one can get an opportunity to become an assistant of Srimati Radharani under the eternal guidance of the gopis. So the thing is that this is the absolute highest level. Yeah.
It's difficult to understand.
Yeah, you see, it's impossible to understand by our brain or intellect. This is just it has to do with relationships. It is explained in which book is that? One of the books which explained, you know, that Krishna, he was preparing to come to material world to have his Bhauma Lila. And then he was asking, you know, Srimad Radharani, I'm going to have my Lila now on the earth. Will you come with me? And she said, no, I am so attached to Vrindavan, I like Radhakund. You know, like Govardhan is there, the cows are there, the peacocks. And I like to be, you know, I don't want to go to material world. You know, I like it here, the atmosphere here. Then Krishna said, don't worry, I already installed, you know, the same kind of forest, you know, and birds are there, and you know you have you know the kunds are there, Yamuna river is there, you have, you know, the Gir Govardhan also I put there. He just argued, everything is there. He just made, you know, a copy of the original Golok Vrindavan. He just made a copy here on the earth planet. And then Srimad Radharani, she agreed to also, you know, come with him. So in other words, it is affectional value, you know. It reminds one of Krishna, all these things. It reminds one of Radha Krishna, and thus it is, you know, relishable. It's not that one go and sit, you know, by a lake like completely alone. It's not like that. Part of this is actually there are going to be, you know, the people there. And again, you know, it's even metaphysical. It's not exactly, you know, grossly physical what we're speaking about here. So it can only be understood by the purified heart. Yeah. Does it mean that, you know, you give up everything and you just go there physically? Not necessarily. So in that way you say, no, Haridas Thakur, is he not, you know, a, you know, Shuddha Vaishnava? You know, of course he is. In his mind he probably is there, in his heart, in his spiritual body. Yeah. And then you can say, you know, the time factor. To say Rupa Goswami, when he was working as a, you know, as a clerk for the Kasi, was he not there? He said Rupa Goswami is eternally, you know, Rupa Manjari, one of the assistants of Radha and Krishna in the spiritual world. So while he was working, you know, as a, you know, minister, was he not there or not? Yes or no?
Yes.
He was there. It's just his expansion. He had a material expansion, you know. He was still there. Yeah. So it's achintya. It's not possible to understand. Achintya kaliya bhava na tams tarkena yojayat. The Shastra says that these things which are inconceivable, you can't understand them by logic. Yeah. So just a footnote on that also, that what we are doing is theology. Yeah. Actually, we have also philosophy, but actually philosophy can only reach to a certain level. Philosophy and logic are kind of linked together. We try to explain something that's inconceivable by logic and philosophy, and it can get us to a certain level, but at one level it goes beyond, you know, the logic and philosophy, and then it's just theology left. You just simply accept what you hear. That's it. Like if the king is explaining how his house is, well, how can I argue? No, I don't think your house is like that. But he's the king. He's just telling me how it is. And if I don't agree about his description of his house or his palace, then the king will not invite me to come there. If I don't believe, you know, that his palace is so wonderful. So in the same way, Krishna is describing his abode. And who am I to argue, you know? Because I have some experience here. And I think, oh, Krishna, this is not logical, you know, I'm not so sure. And then Krishna said, okay, you just stay here, you know, in material world, you know. But if I believe Krishna and I want to go, then it's okay. It's completely theological. It's not logical or philosophical. It's just either you accept the facts or you don't. Yeah.
I think it is easy to believe, but difficult to understand.
Yeah, because understanding is you try and apply the intelligence to this.
Yes.
It's like, I cannot understand how the king can have such a fantastic palace with 100 servants. How did he get that? It doesn't make sense, no. Why I don't have a palace like that? It's like I just think, I don't believe this king. I will not accept his invitation. I just stay here.
Yes.
Cannot be he has such a wonderful palace. And no. But actually, if you went, you would see the king actually has all this. And how did he get it? Nobody knows. How did Krishna get all this? Nobody knows. But he has it. He is Bhagavan. So the only way we can understand, in some sense, is to understand the basic tattva that we are products of that person. In that way, our situation is always to be inferior. Yeah. It's called Svamsha and Vibhinamsha. This is one of the famous verse Prabhupada also using. He says that this is a category of living beings. So one is called Svamsa, and that is Lord and His expansions, Svamsha. So all the Lord's incarnations and the Lord Himself, all Vishnu Tattva. Then the other one is Vibhinamsha. So we are also parts of the Lord, but we are separated parts. And I think in the Varaha Purana it's explained that we are, because we are so tiny, infinitesimal, small parts, then we are prone to get under the material energy and be fooled by material energy because we are so weak. But when we come together with the original person, under his wings, under his shelter, then we are strong again. But alone, outside of the divine energy, will be just weak. Yeah, thanks so much. So that is actually the end of the book. I cannot even flip any more pages. It is really the last page. Yeah. So any comments or questions? Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. It was nice to read this book.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah. So
Was so quick. Not quick.
I can see if I can look on this. We have this graph again about nectar of instruction. We can take a look at that also, just to see, how did it look again? Yeah, these charts. Yeah. So now on the YouTube you can see these charts here. From Shraddha to Prema. So it was said, verse 1 to 3, that was Shraddha. Text 4 to 6, that is Sadhu Sangha. Text 7, that is Bhajana Kriya, Anartana Vritti, Nishta and Ruchi. All in text 7. That was the one we talk about. That we cannot relish the taste of the whole name because of avidya. And then text 8 was Asakti, that was the attachment to the Lord. And these texts today, first text 9 starts with Bhava. Then we go to Prema in the 2 last verses, if I'm not wrong. Or it's both Bhava and Prema in these 3, yeah. So this is the topmost level of spiritual realization. These 3 verses which we had now. The previous verses was just building up to that. Yeah. So what are the K themes in Nectar of Instruction? As I put now on the YouTube, it is mind and sense control. It is attitude. And it is, let's see. It should be there on YouTube. Yeah. The K themes are mind and sense control, attitude, Iskcon's purpose, guru and disciple. Because there was something about guru and disciple also, right? It was that one shouldn't view one's guru to be like in a sick or old body, or think anything about the guru from external point of view.
Is this here or you send it in another one? I think you sent
I sent it on our WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
This charts.
Yes.
Yeah. So you can maybe watch them there if you can find them. Yeah. And then let's see. Move this thing just a second. Anyway, so yeah, and then it's Sadhu Sangha, association with devotees, and that was the 6 loving exchanges. Accepting food, giving food. Confidentially speak, accepting confidential speaking, give gift and accepting gift. Yeah. And then devotees, what kinds of devotees do we have? Yeah, you have different levels. We also talked about that. Kanishtadikari, Madhyamadikari, Uttamadikari. What are their behavior? Yeah?
Uttamadikari, yeah.
Yeah. It's also extremely important. so that we know how to relate with the different types of devotees of different consciousness levels. And then the last one, the Uttamadhikari, Ninda Adishunya, no desire to criticize anyone anymore. And then, Bhakti. And so the last 3 verses was primarily about Bhakti, the different stages of the Bhakti. Yeah. Like that. So in other words, you get everything in the nectar of instruction. Everything is included there. I'll look more on this graph here.
First, we should memorize all of them, 11.
Memorize all of what? All the Sanskrit?
Yeah.
No, you will not be tested in this difficult Sanskrit. Only thing you will get in the Sanskrit are the easy verses. Some of the first verses, Varcha Vegam, Manasa Kroda Vegam, Jiva, that some of these, because these are more often used. The last verses probably doesn't quote them so much. Maybe this verse about chanting, chant Krishna Nama Charitadi Sitapya Vidya, that one is quoted quite a lot. But these 3 last verses, it's not so often quoted. They are more confidential. So I can already say we will not ask you about the Sanskrit for this. We may get a question about these 3 last texts and the purport, but the verses themselves, no. So here we have another graph. So actually, it can be quite helpful. It can be quite helpful if you look on this file. This file I got from Sanatana Mataji about all these different graphs which are made from Nectar of Instruction, and I put them in our WhatsApp group for Bhakti Shastri. Because here you see, for example, on this page, is it page 3? In this, it's very nice. You can see, all the different analogies. That the elephant is taking the bath. You know this analogy? You know this analogy of the elephant? He's taking the bath, and then going up again, and you have a few of these. And then I'll go further and look on the. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, this is quite detailed. It's very good. And we're just now on the text. Page 7 on this talks about. It's going quite in detail with these graphs. See, text 4, text 5, text 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so now we're on text 9, which we have today, is the hierarchy of the holy places. So there you can see the whole graph. Vaikuntha, Mathura, Vrindavan, Govardhan Hill, and Radhakund. Yeah. And text 10, you can see the progress of bhakti. Then you start with Vikarmis, they're the lowest. Karmis are higher, Gyanis are higher, Bhaktas are higher, Gopis are higher, and the highest of them are Srimad Radharani. Yeah. Yeah. And text 11, serving Radhakunda. So why Radhakunda, who, and how, and what is the result? Yeah. That's pretty simple. Yeah. Good.
Wow, we did this.
Yeah, so we went through the whole. We can just go back now to the very preface of Nectar of Instruction and just see what is Prabhupada writing there. He says in the very preface, now I'm back to that. He says that this Krishna consciousness movement. I'm going back to this preface. There is no introduction, but it's a preface in the book. Yeah. So in that very beginning, Prabhupada is saying, the Krishna consciousness movement is conducted under the supervision of Srila Rupa Goswami. Full stop. Yeah. When we had, the introduction to Nectar Instruction, we were reading from that preface. And Rupa Goswami is hailed as the main instructor of all devotees. He gave us this book, and then he gave us the Nectar of Devotion also. 2 nectars. Nectar of Instruction and Nectar of Devotion. Which nectar should we take first? Nectar of Instruction. Yeah. So that's what we're doing now, and later on we can dive into the nectar of devotion, because then we have qualified ourselves by reading this book first. Yeah.
But can we buy Nectar of Devotion book, Prabhuji?
You can buy it, yeah. Yeah.
Where?
I think we have a couple of copies here in the temple actually. We have two.
Okay.
We have 2 copies of it here. I saw it. We have it in the library bookshelf. So you can get a copy here.
So
Yeah.
I would like to buy one, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Oh, you also like a copy? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't.
I think we have 2 copies there. I'll go and secure them now for you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
I don't
Yeah.
know that.
So yeah. So that's why Prabhupada says here, the Gaudiya Vaishnavas or Bengali Vaishnavas are mostly followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of whom the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan are direct disciples. Therefore, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung, Rupa Raghunatha Pada Haibeya Kuti Kamahaba Bhujhaba Suyugala Priti Piriti. When I am eager to understand the literature given by the Goswamis, then I shall be able to understand the transcendental loving affairs of Radha and Krishna. So, there is actually something that is possible to do, to understand Radha Krishna by the books. But it's a gradual development to come there, because it said that we start with the Sambandha Jnana. Sambandha Jnana Tattva is first, that is preliminary ABC knowledge about spiritual life, and that we're getting from the Bhagavad Gita. And then Abhideya Jnana Tattva is given from Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is more like how do you live as a devotee, depending on the Lord in all circumstances. And then the last stage is Prayojana Tattva Jnana. And that is represented by Chaitanya Charitamrita and the books of the Goswamis. So the books of the Goswamis, in other words, they are like on that level of the highest level. So that's why usually devotees in Iskcon not advised to just go to them and not read Prabhupada's books. We read Prabhupada's books first, Bhagavad Gita first, and then Bhagavatam, and then we can read, Chaitanya Charitamrita and all this, nectar of devotion like that. But actually, nectar of instruction is special, because this is the book by the Goswamis which even the neophytes can read. The only book, really. Yeah, because most of the books by if not all of them, they are very more in detail about the higher topics. Yeah. Because that was their specific contribution. Because this ABC knowledge you can get already from Mahabharata and Ramayana, and it's already there. But the higher topic about the affairs of Krishna and how it works with the rasas and so on, that wasn't well known. That was spread by Rupa Goswami mainly in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Jiva Goswami and the others, they followed, and they also explained a lot about that. But the whole framework for the Vaishnava behavior with Krishna is the rasas. Those were very nicely explained by Rupa Goswami. But these things, in at least the first part of nectar of instruction, Upadeshamrita, these are just basic things that you can find in Upanishads and Mahabharata and elsewhere also. That you should control the mind, control the senses, and also the loving exchanges, and then you have to respect the guru. These are also found elsewhere. But the last 3 verses in particular, they are not found very easily elsewhere. Yeah. So in other words, Upadeshamrita, it has a little bit of everything. It actually has everything, just in a nutshell. And that's why it's such an amazing book. Just like Bhagavad Gita is also glorified because it has so many different things covered in just a small book. And Rupa Goswami, with Upadeshamrita, he has done it in an even shorter way. He covered all of these things just in 11 verses, and that's quite a feat to do that. Yeah. So as Prabhupada says here, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the science of Krishna. I'll also go back to show on the Zoom this first page here, the preface. Yeah. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in order to bestow upon human society the benediction of the science of Krishna. The most exalted of all the activities of Krishna are his pastimes of conjugal love with the gopis. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in the mood of Srimati Radharani, the best of the gopis. Therefore, to understand the mission of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and follow in his footsteps, one must very seriously follow in the footsteps of the 6 Goswamis, Shri Rupa Sanatan, Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta, and Dasa Raghunath. Sri Rupa Goswami was the leader of all the Goswamis, and to guide our activities, he gave us this Upadeshamrita, the nectar instruction to follow. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left behind him the 8 verses known as Shikshastaka, Rupa Goswami gave us Upadeshamrita so that we may become pure Vaishnavas. Yeah. In all spiritual affairs, one's first duty is to control his mind and senses. Unless one controls his mind and senses, one cannot make any advancement in spiritual life. Everyone within this material world is engrossed in the modes of passion and ignorance. One must promote himself to the platform of goodness, Sattva-guna, by following the instructions of Rupa Goswami. Then everything concerning how to make further progress will be revealed. Yeah. So in that way, this is, yeah.
This is always the same. Control your mind and senses, control your mind and senses.
So important things, they are repeated.
Yes.
But then again, if you're actually, chanting Hare Krishna and doing seva, then the mind and senses are automatically controlled. Yeah.
Prasad.
Yeah. Huh?
Prasad.
Prasadam.
Yeah.
If you take prasadam. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot that one. Yeah. Yeah, that's also controlling the senses. Anything else that controls the senses? The Krishna Katha, like now we're listening, to nectar instruction, that's also controlling our senses. We can focus on that. Yeah. And then we are what Prabhupada calls a Goswami. Advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the attitude of a follower. A follower of the Krishna consciousness movement should become a perfect Goswami. Vaishnavas are generally known as Goswamis. In Vrindavan, this is the title by which the director of each temple is known. One who wants to become a perfect devotee of Krishna must become a Goswami. Go means the senses and Swami means the master. Unless one controls his senses and mind, one cannot become a Goswami. To achieve the highest success in life by becoming a Goswami and then a pure devotee of the Lord, one must follow instructions known as Upadeshamrita, which have been given by Srila Rupa Goswami. Srila Rupa Goswami has given many other books, such as Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Vidagda Madhava and Lalita Madhava. But Upadeshamrita constitutes the first instructions for neophyte devotees. And what are we? Neophytes. Yeah. Otherwise we wouldn't sit there. Yeah. We should start wearing a badge of neophyte. Yeah. It's nothing bad about being neophyte. It's very good. And it said that actually the advanced devotees, they always view themselves as neophytes. Although they're crying in ecstasy of loving separation, still they think, I am just neophyte. Yeah. And he has written many other books. But for us, Upadeshamrita is today's meal, The humble pie, you can say. Yeah. To take this book. Yeah. Later on, you can bathe in the nectar of the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And then, Vidagda Madhava and Lalita Madhava, which are direct theater plays, actually. They have made theater with this. So, yeah. So Prabhupada says one should follow these instructions very strictly, then it will be easier to make one's life successful. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
It was 2 years.
You were 2 years when this book was written, yeah? A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, September 20, 1975, Vishvarupa Mahotsava, Krishna Balaram Mandir, Ramanarete, Vrindavan, India. So, so it has to be, difficult, because otherwise, if it's easy, then it's not so valuable. I think you can get to know the most valuable thing in this world, like what do you call a diamond or something. You can just buy it in Remathausen. It wouldn't be a diamond. Yeah. No, you have to work hard, really grind, and then find you have enough money, and then you can go, and buy the diamond. Yeah, and just a very, very small diamond, right? You can buy a big one. Working the whole life and you get the small, to have a ring on the finger. Yeah, it will be a bit too heavier. It's in the same way, to get Krishna, you have to work very, very hard. You can get a little relationship to it. Like you can be a servant of a servant of a servant of a servant of a servant, like so many. You see far away there is Krishna. Actually, you don't see Krishna, you just see the devotee. You see the lotus feet of his devotee. Yeah. And even it's said that even if Krishna comes directly, then the devotee will be so humble and say, I cannot serve you directly, sorry, I will serve the servant of your servant of your servant.
Even the last one.
I'm not qualified, yeah. It's actually said they're shy, to be with Krishna directly. It said, no, I just will be a long way in the back, In the end of the food chain, we will be, the servant of the servant of the servant. Yeah. But this is a very secure position. Yeah. So that's why the devotees are like that. Yeah. Thank you so much. So we will stop here.
Yes.
Thank you on Zoom. Oh, they're already stopped. Hare Krishna. Yeah.
So now